Hi everybody, welcome to Line of the Week number 132, Motif Development Using Melodic Rhythms. Let me start with the usual disclaimer. The Line of the Week series is not about memorizing licks, rather I'm just trying to demonstrate some concepts by playing examples. So take the melodic rhythm I play later in the video and apply it to your music in your own way. Like anything else, it takes time and practice, but you'll get better over time. This week's line is mainly about using rhythmic displacement as a device for motif development. The line is based on the first 8 measures of rhythm changes. Because there are so many different variations, let me go through the chord scales and the chord progression so that we're all on the same page. The chords are B flat 6 to G7 to C minor 7 to F7 to B flat 6 to G7 to C minor 7 to F7 to F minor 7 to B flat 7 to E flat major to E flat minor 6 to D minor 7 to C minor 7 to F7, resolving back again to B flat 6. Here are the chord scales that I use. I use chord scales for understanding the tensions available for comping and also as vocabulary for improvising, single note improvisation. The chord scales are F pentatonic to D melodic minor to B flat major to G flat melodic minor to F pentatonic to D melodic minor to B flat major to G flat melodic minor to E flat major to B melodic minor to B flat pentatonic to E flat melodic minor to F pentatonic to B flat major to G flat melodic minor, and then resolving again to F pentatonic under the B flat 6 major chord. Here's the melodic rhythm I'm using this week. The motif is from Jerry Bergonzi's book, Volume 4, Melodic Rhythms Used with Permission. Here's the line of the week with Guitar Pro backing track that I use to make sure I'm getting the notes and the rhythm accurate. Let me say a few things about the line of the week. The motif development tools that I use usually include an original motif, and then variation, extension, fragmentation, which is a small identifiable part of the original motif, and rhythmic displacement. You can read more about these concepts in Hal Crook's book. It's called How to Improvise, and I'll have it in the notes below. The motifs that I use come from Jerry Bergonzi's book, Volume 4, Melodic Rhythms, and again, links to the books are in the description. So let's go to measure 1, and you can see the original motif, and I'm just stating the rhythm of the original motif and then putting notes to it that I get from the chord scale. And then in measure 2, I've got a variation of the original motif, which is the same rhythm as measure 1, just different notes to fit the harmony. In measure 3, I've got variation of the original motif again. In measure 4, I've got a rest, because plenty of space is always important. Hal Crook calls it the play-rest approach, where you play and then you rest. Don't forget the resting part. Let's turn to measure 5. This is the first measure that demonstrates rhythmic displacement of the original motif. Notice that the dotted quarter note in beat 1 is the same dotted quarter note at beat 3 of the original motif. The dotted quarter note is then followed by 3/8 notes that are played on the upbeats. So the original motif slides over by 2 beats. This rhythmic displacement is a common type of motif development on its own. In measure 6, you've got another variation of the original motif being displaced by 2 beats. In measure 7, you could think of measure 7 as an extension of measure 6. In measure 8, you've got another variation of the displaced motif introduced in measure 5. And then in measure 9, you've got a whole note extension of measure 8. Also, note the points of resolution of tension by half step. At the point of chord change, it's important to resolve non-harmonic tones, meaning avoid notes or disagreeable tones, by half step to an agreeable note. You can resolve the tension either directly, meaning immediately, or indirectly within a beat and a half. For example, in measures 1 to 2, the note E, which is the 13th under G7, resolves to E flat, which is the minor third under C minor 7 chord. In measures 5 to 6, you've got note E, which is the sharp 11 of B flat 7, resolving by half step to F, which is the 9th under the E flat major 7 chord. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week.